In the previous module, you've learned about configuring the packages. In this module, we'll look into how to troubleshoot SSIS. You will learn how to log the package data, how to use event handlers, how to troubleshoot the errors, and how to use data viewers and breakpoints. So let's get started. Most businesses want to keep track of the packages that are running on their servers. The logging options in SSIS enable you to record package information at runtime. This lesson shows you how to use those built-in logging options. When you create a log, it can capture the name of the operator who ran the package and the time the package began and finished. Let's see how to create a package and how to set up logging for it. Let's create a new package. Let's first stop debugging this. Let's create a new package and name it Error Demo. Let's add a script task. Double-click it. Let's make sure the script language is Visual Basic. Let's click on Edit Script and add a message box. Variables. Test dot value. Let's save it and click on OK. So basically, we've created a script task that will display a message box with the value of the variable test. Let's not create the test variable, since this will cause an error that you'll capture in the logs. In order to set up the logging with the built-in SSIS logging options, let's right-click in the control flow and click on Logging and select the package that you want to start logging. The drop-down menu of the provider type has the available locations that you can save your logging information into. The Windows Event Log logs the data to the Windows Event Log. Text file option saves the information into a plain text file with the data comma separated. XML file option saves the data in an XML file parsed into XML nodes. The SQL Server option logs the data to a table in your SQL Server. The SQL Server Profiler option logs the data to a file as SQL that can be captured in the SQL Server Profiler. Regardless of the provider type you select, options are available as to what data you want to log and when this data is logged. You can see these options under the Details tab. Under the Details tab, you select the event you want to be logged. If the event occurs during the run of the package, it logs the data to the selected provider. The most commonly used events are on error, on warning, on pre-execute, and on post-execute. If you select on error, and if an error occurs during the execution of the package, that data is stored in the selected log provider. If an error never occurs during the package execution, then no data is logged for this event. The same holds true with on warning. The on pre-execute event logs all the data before the package begins execution. This gives you a chance to see what the data values were before the packages performs any tasks. The on post-execute event option logs all of the data after the package has completed execution. The data that is saved by the SSIS logging options is shown in the Advanced window, which you can bring up in the Details tab by clicking the Advanced button. Let's click on Advanced. And in this Advanced screen, you can select what data you want to log and on what event. You can select or unselect each item on each event. For example, if you want to log the computer name but only on the pre-execute, you can place a check under the computer name next to the pre-execute. Let's go back to Basic and let's see how to add a provider. To create a log provider, select a provider type from the Provider Type drop menu on the Providers and Logs tab in the Configure SSIS Logs window, and then click the Add button. The log provider then appears in the Select the Logs to use for the container pane below the drop-down menu. For this example, let's select Text Files and click on Add. In order to turn on the log provider, you need to place a check under the name column. And if you want to disable a log but not remove it from this log menu, you only need to remove the check in the name column next to that log provider. So to activate it, let's click on the checkbox under the name column. And after you've created the log provider and checked the name column to activate it, click the Configuration drop-down menu. And if a connection type exists in the connection manager that is used by the selected provider, it is shown in this window. If the connection does not exist, you can create it by clicking the New Connection option. Let's click on New Connection. And in the usage type, let's say Create File, and let's create it on the desktop. Let's call it log test .text. Click on Open and click on OK. Next, let's click on the Details tab and let's check on error, on post-execute, and on pre-execute. Let's click on OK and let's execute this package. Press F5 and the package will obviously fail because it's looking for a variable called test and there is no variable that we've created with the same name. Now let's open the log file that we just created. And as you can see, it has pre-execute, post-execute, and on error logging in here. And it says exception has been thrown by the target of invocation, which translates to it's missing a variable that the package is looking for. So that is how you can create logging to package data.